could grow to the point where you are making $1 million per year and, maybe have a few cars and, a house, but you're still working all the time. Because it's a person working from a different country, it's a virtual assistant, it's a remote employee, but they're as good as anybody else you hire locally. There is literally no difference except for the fact that I can't come here and shake hands with you.
In 2026, scaling a mid-market enterprise requires moving past traditional hiring borders to build highly secure fractional talent bridges that drastically reduce overhead while expanding output.
On a day-to-day basis, if you are caught up in admin tasks, if you are caught up in marketing tasks, if you are caught up in day-to-day managing the office, you can only be this big. It's very important that you need to focus on critical thinking, focus on company growth.
Hi everyone, this is Maheen and welcome to the CanadianSME Small Business Podcast. Today we are exploring the strategic leverage of global staffing and operational efficiency because in 2026, scaling a mid-market enterprise requires moving past traditional hiring borders to build highly secure fractional talent bridges that drastically reduce overhead while expanding output. Joining us is Abhishek Basak, the founder and CEO of Clerk-Tech. Abhishek is an elite operations leader with nearly 2 decades of global business process outsourcing. Armed with strong corporate roots at financial and media giants like Universal Music Group, eClerx, and WNS, he has spent the last 8 years helping over 300 North American companies optimize their workflows through virtual staffing. So without further ado, let's dive in and welcome Abhishek. Abhishek, it's a pleasure having you on the show with us. Thank you for joining. How are you?
Thank you, Maheen. I'm happy. I'm tired. I was actually I had a busy day because I was traveling. I do travel a lot
Right.
for work, but I'm happy to be here, and I'm looking forward to this.
Very excited. We are very excited as well, and we really appreciate you still coming down to see us despite the busy schedule. Now, let's open our discussion by understanding how do we redefine the modern virtual assistant. When many business owners hear the term virtual assistant, they immediately picture a part-time secretary checking basic emails. Tell us, what roles can modern virtual assistants play in a growing business?
See, you're not wrong. A lot of my clients, initially, they always say that virtual assistant, okay, she can do basic tasks or he can do basic tasks. But the overall global hiring system has grown exponentially. You can literally hire people in sales, marketing, accounting, customer support, digital marketing, anything. Basically, anything that can be done remotely, you can hire a remote employee to do that job from anywhere in the world at the end of the day. So it's not just confined to checking basic emails or just responding to a few calls. There's so much more a virtual assistant can do for you.
Right. Now, realizing that a VA can step into advanced technical pipelines like digital marketing, sales lead, as you mentioned, and corporate accounting, it completely changes how a founder calculates talent capacity. Now, let's explore how delegation unlocks growth and removes operational bottlenecks. Tell us, why is delegation essential for business growth?
So from what I've seen, a lot of solopreneurs and entrepreneurs who are starting off, they tend to do everything themselves, which is great. They may be the best at what they're doing, but you can only do this much. You could grow to the point where you are making $1 million per year and, maybe have a few cars and, a house, but you're still working all the time. How are you going to enjoy it? How are you going to grow your company? Because that's the bottleneck now. To be able to grow your business to a point where you can have the system work automatically, you need to learn to delegate. And that is something I always tell all my clients. In fact, even bigger companies, even to the point that where people are hiring a few employees locally because it's so expensive, they tend to keep a very lean team and everybody's overworked. And that shouldn't be the case. You can only be so productive if you are overworked all the time. If you don't have the bandwidth to think about ideas, if you're not creative, you can't really grow your business. So it's very important that you learn to delegate. And if there's budget, which is a constraint, then you can always hire a virtual assistant to do that job.
Right. Now, stepping away from daily administrative friction, it really allows a founder to redirect their mental energy entirely towards high level strategy and talent and client acquisition. Next, let's look at creating a seamless experience when onboarding remote talent. Abhishek, how does integrating a virtual assistant transform daily operations?
So a virtual assistant is a real person actually. This is a very common question, I guess, that AI, no, it's a real person working for you from a different country maybe, but at the end of the day, they work Eastern time. How it
Right.
works is once a client tells us about their requirements, we send them a job description, we post that job on our website and on our LinkedIn page. Now, if you've seen our LinkedIn page, we have almost 300,000 followers on LinkedIn.
Mhm.
So we instantly get 500 plus applicants applying for the role. Our team goes over each and every application, interviews more than 100 people, and then shortlist the top 5 or 6 candidates. So we are literally finding you the needle in the haystack out of a huge pool of applicants applying and experienced.
Right.
The client also gets a chance to interview them, and then they select that 1 or 2 employees that they like the most. So the whole process works in a recruiting manner, but at the end of the day, because it's a person working from a different country, it's a virtual assistant, it's a remote employee, but they're as good as anybody else you hire locally. There is literally no difference except for the fact that I can't come here and shake hands with you. But apart from that, everything should be the same. You shouldn't expect any less from them. Maybe more you can expect, but definitely not any less than anybody you hire locally.
Right. Now, watching a business transition from such a chaotic, reactive task management to a smooth, automated workflow, it proves that global human leverage is the ultimate scaling shortcut. To the enterprise directors, agency owners, and overworked founders watching, in 2026, overpaying for entry level administrative overhead is bleeding your margins dry. Abhishek and his team at Clerk-Tech are engineering a high performance talent bridge, letting you hire elite full time professionals at up to a quarter of the traditional cost in North America, covering over 30 distinct corporate roles for as little as $5 an hour. Following massive adoption across Toronto, Clerk-Tech has officially expanded its footprint by launching a brand new corporate hub in Manhattan, New York, to help businesses scale globally without capital strain. Please visit clerktech.com today and stop doing everything yourself and start scaling smart. We'll take a quick break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more insights from Abhishek.
Hey, you think you know UPS? Yeah, that's us. Everybody knows that. You know what you didn't know? This. Okay, try to keep up. Ocean, us. Ground, rail, air, so us. Guess who? Us. Customs cleared, borders cleared, done. Us. You still with me? Wait for it. Boom. Us. Intelligent, automated, fulfillment. Us. Yep. Healthcare too. Digital your thing? Yeah. Well, book it, ship it, track it. You feeling me yet? Yep. That's all us. That's all UPS.
Welcome back to the Canadian SME Small Business Podcast. Let's continue our conversation with Abhishek and explore how businesses can scale smarter and more efficiently. Now, Abhishek, let's explore protecting data and assets in global workforce models. Tell us, how can businesses keep data secure when working with overseas VAs?
I'm glad you asked this question. This is my favorite question. And I see a lot of people, in fact, almost every client asking this question, that how is my data going to be secure? How can I trust a person in a different country to, not do something with my data? It's very important. And I always say this, it's not just our virtual assistant company. You should always work with a company which has local office in your country. See, I know you're trying to hire a virtual assistant, but at the end of the day, that company should have an office in your city or in your country for that matter. So if something goes wrong, you can go after them. Second, our company particularly has data security and privacy measures. So our data is so secure that even if an employee sitting next to you, there could be a data breach, but not through our company, because we have secure systems in place. Everything that they do is monitored. Their productivity is monitored. Their timing is monitored, making sure that the data that you share with them is not going outside the system, even if they were to put a pen drive for that matter, or try to open their Gmail and send some information to themselves. That's not possible because our IT team is constantly monitoring each and every virtual assistant. So data privacy and security is very important, but no business, I don't think, in this era can really work with a client in North America without having good data security and privacy measures.
Right. Ensuring or enforcing strict cloud access permissions and enterprise-grade security protocols, as you mentioned, it completely neutralizes cross-border data liabilities for global teams. So thank you for highlighting and putting emphasis on this, Abhishek. Finally, let's look at the lessons from the front lines of the global BPO industry. Tell us, how has your global outsourcing experience shaped Clerk-Tech's approach?
I started off with being a virtual assistant myself. So when I graduated initially, when I in my 20s, I was a virtual assistant myself. I was traveling. Thankfully I got a lot of exposure because they kept sending me to the States and to Canada and to different countries to learn the process, come back, teach the team, go back, learn the process. So I got a good exposure. Now what that helped me with, because I worked with big giants, when I started the company, I made sure that all the security measures and all the kind of protocols that they keep, we keep as well, because I got trained in that kind of environment. So I did not start from scratch. I actually came with experience and started. And that's what helped me grow the company much more faster than, otherwise traditional virtual assistant company. We are right now at 150 employees working for clients all over Toronto and New York. These are our top cities. 80% of our clients come from these two cities, but we also have clients in Florida. We have clients in the West. But at the end of the day, I feel that the experience that I came from helped me grow the business to this point, and to that matter, help my clients, grow their business. I have had great stories with some of my clients who've grown their business, and we'll touch on that later. But I've seen huge success with the outsourcing industry thanks to my experience.
Wow, that is a real example right there, and it tells us that infusing real first-hand operational experience into your talent vetting process, it ensures that North American clients receive premium, highly trained specialists who deliver results from day one. This was a great conversation, by the way, Abhishek. Thank you for things that you do from your own experience and delivering such great, solutions out to the Canadian and, of course, the U.S. market. As we wrap up, what advice would you give business owners that are really struggling to let go of administrative tasks?
I would just say that you need to learn to delegate. Without delegating, there is no way you can scale your business. Every business out there, every big giant, every big Fortune 500 company out there, a lot of them have outsourced. A lot of them have broken the bank to hire another employee, not gotten paid, but paid the employee and delegated the work, because it's very important that your time is best spent critical thinking, networking, and doing meetings. But apart from that, on a day-to-day basis, if you are caught up in admin tasks, if you are caught up in marketing tasks, if you are caught up in day-to-day managing the office, you can only be this big. You can only earn this much money, and probably working 16 or 18 hours days. So it's very important that you need to focus on critical thinking, focus on company growth, and rather delegate everything else to an employee. And if you can't afford one, if you feel that it's too expensive to hire an employee in your local city, you could always hire people overseas. With the internet era, I mean, the world is open. You can hire a person in Southeast Asia, you can hire a person in South America, you can hire a person in, if you want somebody with this high-level tech skills, you can hire somebody from San Francisco. I mean, it doesn't really have to be confined to people that you only find in your local
Right.
area. Yeah. So that's how. So there's no limit. You could be a small city entrepreneur and become one of the biggest companies in the world.
Absolutely. And that's such a great reminder, Abhishek, that true corporate growth that requires you to work on your business instead of getting trapped in it. Thank you once again for being on the show and for sharing such great expertise and your vision with us.
Thank you so much for having me.
And that was Abhishek Basak from Clerk-Tech, a masterclass in scaling operations through virtual assistants, safeguarding international data, and utilizing global talent pipelines to save up to 70% on overhead costs in 2026. Thank you for tuning into the podcast. Please be sure to subscribe and visit CanadianSME.ca for more resources. To learn more about how we are supporting the ecosystem, please visit Canadian SME Small Business Foundation at smbfoundation.ca. A special shout out to UPS and ADP for their ongoing commitment to empowering small businesses across Canada.